they believe it was a vendetta from one of the state troopers or whoever it was, sheriff, state trooper, police, officials that has something against Nelly. But 2018, for me, that was the first thing. I'm like, how you going 2018, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's 6 years ago, my guy. Like in all these 6 years, there was no way for you to find Nelly.
At home.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cause I write so many songs and I never get a chance to actually record them. I'm so busy. So I just pick like a day. Like, I'm just going to just record everything in my notebook. Cause I got the beats and all that stuff. So that's just what I spent the day doing. So I'm kind of in that mode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was working on the song. I got oh my God, I'll let you hear it. That mug is coming out nice. It's coming out.
No.
I got to get back into actually producing again. Right?
Why not, man?
I've been away from it for so long.
If you got the gift, man, if you got the gift and you got the inclination, go for it. Because guess what? Whatever you got to contribute, man, somebody needs it. Somebody out there needs what you got to contribute. You know what I'm saying? Not just the end user either. Not other creatives can use it as well to support other end users. You know what I'm saying? So you got it, man. Go for it.
It's been a minute. I can't hear what you're working on though.
Oh man. Everybody gonna hear it, man, because I got a whole plan. I'm a marketing guy, so I believe in plans and purposes and all that. So, I've been, if you follow me anywhere, any social media, you see I'm always preaching, chasing your dreams and your passions and all that stuff. So it's for a reason, because that's what my music is headed in that direction, in terms of just motivational. You can do this. It's nothing that's impossible to you. You just got to look on the inside, But more important than anything, I'm trying to be it, though. I don't want to just talk about it.
Yeah, we talked about that last time, right?
I want to be it.
So be it.
So yeah, it's all purposeful, man. And everybody gonna hear it though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully sooner than later, but it's all in God's timing, man. And
for sure.
The universe and how things line up. But it's about just being obedient to what's inside of you. And I think everybody should be, any creative, stop sitting on what you got. If you got a calling, you got, music, and this is a music podcast. So if you're if you got something to contribute, go for it, man. Go for it. Stop being selfish. I think it's selfish when people wait. They wait for when it's comfortable for them to do it.
Oh yeah, of course.
When it looks a certain way. I want it to look a certain way. So I got to.
It has to look a certain way. It has to feel a certain way. It has to sound a certain way. I mean, we are perfectionists, right? And so
there's a time and place for that, right? You got to check your gut. I'm not saying do stuff second rate or do stuff that's not right, but at the same time, though. Don't be worried about what people think. Oh, I'm gonna look stupid, if I do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look. One of these days, we're gonna come on here and talk about the 40-year-old rapper. You know what I'm saying? And the person who got that itch and they're 49 years old or something like that. And
how you know I'm 49 though?
I don't know. I'm just saying. But people,
he talking to me. That's
people.
What
People feel like I'm gonna look stupid if I do this. I'm gonna look dumb if I do that. And it's like, who cares what people think? Who cares about what people think about you?
That's true.
You got to be obedient. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing about it. They'll laugh and clown you for being a 50-year-old rapper until you blow. And then you're going to be the first 50-year-old rapper to start at 50 and blow. And it's going to be like, oh, man. It's going to be like, so I can go on and on about that kind of stuff, man. But if you got something in you, stop worrying about how it's going to look. And are you going to look stupid? Are you going to look dumb? And just go for it, man.
Well, we're in a genre that, it's ageism. I mean, we are in a genre that practices ageism. And so it's like, if you're not young, like we got the phrase, it's a young man's game. And so if you are an older person, this ain't for you.
Right.
Nobody want to listen to you. Right. Nobody want to check for your music.
Right.
Why do you, as a 49-year-old man or woman, putting out an album?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Right? I mean, I think that's kind of, who said that? Was it Andre 3000?
Yeah, he didn't want to rap about getting a colonoscopy or something like that. Right. And then him and LL Cool J went back and forth for a little bit because LL Cool J directly responded to him.
But L just dropped a song too.
He got three songs.
With three songs. I just heard one today with
Sweetie.
Yes, I just heard that one today.
Yep. Prolification, something like that.
I don't remember the name.
But it's a dope record.
It was a dope record.
His other two records are dope. He's got a whole album produced by Q-Tip.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother story though. LL Cool J is actually one of those ones blazing the trail for older rappers. You know, he started Rock the Bells. You know,
I mean,
and that's a whole lane for older rappers. You know, a whole entire lane. And with him and Nas, because it's two sides to this. It's one side of rappers who've been rapping since they were young, continuing to rap. But then there's a whole nother leaf that's being turned of rappers is kind of getting started older, like Big Hit Boy's dad. You know what I'm saying? He's
hold up. Hit Boy's dad is a rapper?
Oh yeah.
What?
Him and Game
I'm gonna go check that out.
Him and Game had an album come out first of the year.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that
Big
out.
Hit and Game did an album, very dope album. I did a whole review on it on my YouTube. Got a lot of views on it too. Very dope album, and he's like, I think 2-3 albums in already.
Yeah,
Big Hit,
crazy.
you know. And he's like 50 something, just starting, dope, getting respect. So it's a whole wave, you know.
Okay, so do you think it's achievable for somebody like Hit Boy's dad, because Hit Boy, he already has like the major connections.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, he produced. Not like us, right? I mean, one of the biggest.
Well, Mustard did not like us.
Yeah. Mustard did that. That's right. Mustard did that.
No, but Hit Boy's done like
you're right. You're right. Hit Boy. Yeah.
Hit Boy just did 7 albums with 6 albums with Nas. You know, and over like 3 years.
That's true.
Another.
I'll make sure I don't get them mixed up.
Another 50-year rapper. You know what I'm saying? Super dope.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think it's because, like for me, I don't know if I could start rapping today as a 49-year-old rapper.
If you dope, you could.
You know, I don't know. I got to find out.
If you dope, if you ain't listen, if you're not dope, you know. But here's the thing, though. Even if the word dope is so
it's so subjective, man.
Subjective,
like,
yeah. It's so,
what may be dope to you may not be dope
exactly.
to me. Exactly.
So I mean, there's some 60-year rappers over in the UK. It's a duo. I forgot their name.
Oh, the two white dudes?
Yeah. Like,
they be killing it, though.
But I will say, though, I'm still not convinced. I got to see them live. I'm not convinced it's not Milli Vanilli. I got to see them live. But if it's real...
Is it Milli Vanilli?
More power to them. No, if it's like really them, more power to them. But my thing is, listen, there's going to be somebody that starts at 50, even that's not supported by Hit Boy, because I agree with you to your point. Big Hit does have an advantage coming through his son, Hit Boy, right? But it doesn't matter though. He's still a 50-year rapper starting. So in other words, there's gonna be others that's like, because there's a whole segment of the population that has no idea that he's Hit Boy's dad.
I didn't even know he was Hit Boy's dad.
Exactly. People don't know, but it's dope music. You know, he's rapping, and there's been this big debate in the last few weeks with Ninth Wonder. Q-Tip chimed in about it being a separate category at award shows for rappers. Trust me, it's happening.
It's gonna happen.
So if you're an older person and want to rap, don't let nobody tell you can't rap, because you're gonna look stupid in 20 years. Like, I should have started rapping at 49 because they told me I shouldn't, but then so and so blew up and you didn't do it. So moral of the story is, if you got a gift, man, stop worrying about what people gonna think about you.
That's what I'm saying.
Just do it. That's what
I'm saying. Just do it.
Care.
Just do it.
And for me personally, I love when folks laugh at me and say, "Oh, what do you think you're doing?" I love it because I know I'm on the right pathway. I love the energy because I know it's like somebody paying attention now. They paying attention. If somebody hating on you, they're paying attention enough to hate, so you're on the right pathway.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I've heard that many times. Is that if you have haters, you're on the right path.
Yeah, I did a song 5 years ago, "Love for the 313," my biggest independent song, and I was like, was I 40? I thought like 39 back then. I was getting all kind of hate and with that old dude, and it's like I loved it though. I'm like, yes.
That's right. Like, this old dude to still smoke.
Yeah, and
smoke
it's like,
y'all in that
and
battle.
It's like you ain't doing nothing, you know. It's my couple thousand sales is a couple thousand more than you have. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir. I love it.
You know, so it's like I love it.
I love it. I'm all for the positivity in that. I'm all for the abundance in that. Right? It's like, because once again, we live in a genre that is all about ageism. We live in a genre that's all about, you know, you can't do this because it's only for these group of people at a certain age bracket. And it's like, man, but how come rock doesn't have? I don't know. Maybe I don't think rock has it. I don't think country has it. I don't think pop has it. I don't think any other genre of music has it except for hip hop.
It's just a different category. It's more mature.
I think just hip hop though.
Yeah, but I think it's changing though. Again, Rock the Bells Radio. LL Cool J has a whole radio station on Sirius satellite. He has a festival. He's creating original shows, original content. For example, MC Shan. You know, MC Shan
Oh
lives,
yeah.
lives here in Georgia now, and they did a whole documentary showing him on his life, driving around, and he rehabs buses and drives around the country with his grandkids. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
Like stuff like that. You know, showing, and he still is rapping, I believe. So it's like,
Man, that's dope.
you know, times are changing.
That's dope.
So
Times are changing.
times are changing, man,
For
and
sure.
like. I'm just an advocate of whatever you do, man. Don't be ashamed to do it. If you want to do it. Because especially in music now, it's a DIY world now.
It's all DIY. It's a
Yeah.
DIY world.
So it's like, and it's a world where there's a lot of sub markets. You know, you can like be a totally unknown rapper with 1,000 fans earning a living. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You could be totally not famous,
Facts.
but totally like supporting yourself.
Facts.
So it's a whole new world. So if you want to rap. If you want to sing.
That's always the dichotomy between fame and support of yourself. Like, which one do you want? Like, if you're an artist, which one do you want? Do you want fame, or do you want to make a living off of what you do? You can do both. I ain't saying you can't do both, but I know many people who aren't famous, but they absolutely support themselves off the music that they do.
And my thing is, what does your heart tell you? You know, is your heart full by performing? You know, I hike Stone Mountain a couple times a week, right?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, it's dope. I take you up there one day, man. It's a good experience.
I had to experience that.
The last time I was there, was a guy playing guitar and recording them. He was singing Bill Withers songs. You know what I'm saying? On top of it, which is ironic because when Bill Withers passed away, I found a clip of him giving a speech saying that, like, if you're doing what you love, it don't matter if you're doing it at a hotel in the lobby. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're at the Grammy Awards doing it. If you really love it and you're doing it for people, you should be fulfilled, you know. And that guy was playing, you know, Bill Withers on top of Stone Mountain, had a little crowd going, you know. And it's like, I hope he's fulfilled because he's doing his passion, you know, music. It's dope, you know what I'm saying? So if you're doing music, even just for free, if you getting your ideas out to the world, to whatever audience that the universe allows you to have, you're winning.
That's dope.
You winning.
I love it.
For sure, man.
So, hey, y'all take that advice right there.
And join the Indie Unplugged community because there's a lot of resources here that's going to help you reach those people that you're trying to reach. You feel me? So
join the community. Go to the website, join the community, and get the resources. You know what I mean? Like,
go for it.
It's crazy.
Because it's possible, though. It's possible. There's people out here. Out of 8 billion people in the world, right? I believe it's 8 billion now.
Probably.
You can like find your couple thousand that God meant for you to touch at least.
I mean, I ain't throwing no shade at nobody, but still, if Ice JJ Fish can find his place in this world with an audience, anybody can do it. Yeah. I'm just saying, anybody can do it. So
but people don't want to do the work though, because it does take work. It takes work. Even with this, you know, I'm learning these algorithms on social media and about consistency, you know, and about like how to work that. And it's just a lot. And most people don't want to do the work, man. They don't want to I don't want to do the work some days. But we got to do it though, because we got to reach the people.
We want 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Popcorn. Right.
You got to work. It may take 2 years and 3 months.
and there's your 2 and 30 right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
but you got to do it though. Like, you got to grind, man, and enjoy the process, man, and enjoy, you know, showing up to those venues and performing for 3 people, you know. But hey, it's a blessing. Do it, man. Or those 3 likes you got on your video, you know. Are you gonna do another one? You know, maybe that's the universe challenging you, seeing if you gonna really stick with it. You know, God don't want to just throw it out on you. How you gonna handle these 3 likes right here?
If you can't handle,
how you gonna handle 3? Are you gonna quit? So this joker, he or she, they quit the first sign of adversity. I can't bless them. They gonna give up too soon. I can't get them all this abundance I got for them. They gonna just like
preach it, brother.
They gonna bail out. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. So stick with it, man.
That's
Stick with it and find some enjoyment in the fact that those 3 or 4 people rock with you. Talk to them. Find out what they like about it. Maybe they can get some data to get more. I mean, maybe they'll be the ones that go out there and evangelize and recruit more people for you.
Hey, they could be the beginners of your street team, the beginners of the word spreaders of your music.
Yeah. So bottom line is do the work, man. Do the work and
do the work.
But speaking of that though, speaking of doing the work and you know, doing music and putting out, you know, positivity, our brother Malcolm Jamal Warner, you brought this to my attention the other day. You know,
man,
I've done some research on him, and apparently he has a new podcast, and he's been going around like and he's on the Breakfast Club.
Right.
He's been going around preaching this message about, you know, the negative images and stereotypes in hip hop, and he said it was they were anti-black. I believe he said.
Yeah. You know what? Like we got a clip of the actual talk that he gave, talking about how it's anti-black, right? I found it very interesting. So we're gonna take a moment,
okay,
and we're actually gonna watch the clip of Malcolm Jamal Warner talking about music is anti-black. All right, so let's take a moment. Let's watch the clip.
Unfortunately, the success of hip hop is predicated upon being anti-black.
Explain. Expound.
When you listen to the hip hop that gets the exposure, right? Conscious hip hop isn't getting exposure. The messages in hip hop that get the exposure are misogyny, murder, mayhem, and disrespect of fellow black people. Right? That's not all of the hip hop that exists.
Right, but that's what mainly.
That's what gets. Yeah, like you can't have a popular hip hop song without using the N-word
or calling women horrible names.
Yeah. It's like our black music has somehow become anti-black, and it's been so normalized that it gets right by us.
And it just did with me.
Yeah, the conditioning, the programming it's so powerful. Like in all of my poetry, I constantly talk about my love-hate relationship with hip hop. Right, but when those of us who are hip hop purists and we talk about how, you know, the younger generation, the hip hop is trash, well, we're complicit in that because the younger generation grew up watching us and listening to us listen to what we listen to. The content isn't different. The skill set may not be as great, right? The execution may not be as great as was artistically, but the content really is the same. And most of that content, to be black music, again, is really, a lot of it's anti-black.
Ooh, excellent.
She was like, excellent. Anti-black.
Yeah, I see what he's saying though. You understand what he's saying?
I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, and he got a valid argument. Now, I'm not saying he's.
I agree.
I think it's about your opinion. I can't say we can definitively say it's anti-black, but I think that a lot of this stuff that gets pumped is definitely on the surface detrimental to black people. However, you know, a little debauchery, a little hedonism, a little we all indulge in that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's not a problem with it existing. What's a problem is that's like the logo. That's like the representation of hip hop. And I think that's the problem. Because there's no like, you know, Young MCs and MC Hammers and Kid and Play. I'm naming for all the young people. I'm naming like like
Kid and Play.
I'm naming rappers from the 90s and 80s that were like that weren't into like sex, money, and drugs. You know, it was, you had NWA. You know what I'm saying? You had, you know, your Spice One, and I loved it all. I loved NWA, Spice One, Ghetto Boys. Also loved Kwame. You know what I'm saying? Redhead Kingpin, Heavy D and the Boys. You know what I'm saying? Souls of Mischief. You know, A Tribe Called Quest is one of my favorites. Congrats to them for going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
But De La Soul. Whereas now you can't name a De La Soul equivalent. You know what I'm saying? You got, and this is,
you know what? That's true though,
and it's very interesting with the whole Drake Kendrick thing. You know what I mean? Because even like a J. Cole, for example, J. Cole will probably be the closest thing, right? It's like A Tribe Called Quest, but J. Cole is like, it's talking tough and greasy in a lot of his stuff, and it's just like,
oh yeah, it's that bravado.
It's like, but the bravado back in our day was just meant like, I'm a dope rapper, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're not a dope rapper, you know what I'm saying? Or I drive a Cadillac, you know?
Right.
I don't know, but I just think that my personal opinion is that it's not so much the rapper's fault. or even the record labels. It's the consumers. It's what we throw.
Oh.
Because if we gravitate to gospel hip hop, Lecrae, for example, then that's the labels we push. They'll push that. They're gonna push whatever it's gonna make them the money. You know, what I'm
which
saying?
is why they're not pushing as hard as they could. You know, CHH, but
if there was demand for it, they would. So
they would. Well, I mean, well, maybe.
And then you even got to be CH. You don't even got to be Christian music.
You ain't got to be Christian music.
Just like some kind of positive music that's
conscious,
just about like good stuff. Like, you know, what's wrong with a song about like being healthier? A song about taking care of your...
Nobody want to hear songs about being healthy.
About drinking...
Taking care of your family.
Drinking, what is it? Smoothies or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
They weren't drinking smoothies. Right? That's what Andre was talking about. Like, we're going to rap about drinking smoothies and exercising and... Because you know what? I don't think that sells. Right? So I had to actually go look up. I wanted to make kind of that thing, right? I'm a researcher. I like research and stuff.
Good. Me too.
I had to look up anti-Black.
Oh, okay.
I wanted the definition.
Oh, okay.
So anti-Black, this is coming from Boston University. They did a whole, right? You want to look, I'm all about citing sources, right? So Boston University did a whole article all on, you know, anti-Blackness and racism and all that. So they describe anti-Black as it is defined as the beliefs, attitudes, actions, practices, and behaviors of individuals and institutions that devalue, minimize, and marginalize the full participation of Black people. It is the systematic denial of Black humanity and dignity which makes Black people effectively ineligible for full citizenship.
Whoa.
Like, oh.
Okay.
Oh. So here's the question. As I was reading that and as I was thinking about music, hip hop, especially as Malcolm Jamal Warner said, hip hop is anti-Black, right? And so does it devalue, minimize, and or marginalize Black people?
I say yes.
I say 100% yes. I say it absolutely does. Well, not all of it.
It can.
It can.
Because those same records, I listen to a lot of those same records and I enjoy them.
I agree.
But I'm on a
it depends on what they are.
But I'm not some like vulnerable ear. I'm not regular, yo. I ain't regular. I'm not regular. But to like the average person though, who's easily influenced, and you know, it's funny. I was talking to my daughter about this, about her listening to certain music with explicit language and all that. She's growing up, and she was explaining to me how, you know, she knows how to, you know, not let it influence her. She's trying to convince me to take the thing off her phone.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
so she can play, you know.
Right.
And but some people are easily like influenced and can hear that stuff and just kind of let it. And even those of us that think we aren't, if we're not careful, we can be subconsciously influenced.
Yes, sir.
You know, if we like listening to it too much, or we like, you know, not filtering, you know, or not doing things to counter that, you know, prayer life and whatever you do, meditation and whatever, to balance it out. But no, I think on the surface, yeah, that stuff is detrimental.
Yeah, I think on the surface it can definitely marginalize, minimize, and devalue Black people.
Oh, for sure.
From our own people.
For sure.
Right? Talking about, you know, bees and hoes and this and that and getting money and shooting people and doing this and robbing dudes. And,
or being a whore, a
harlot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's
at the presidential rally.
We look.
Or at the BET,
let me tell you
or at the Black Excellence Awards. The BET Awards that is a whole freak show.
That absolutely made
a whole freak show.
To me, what that message said was Black people are stupid. Okay, we got to bring a person whose music is not as inspirational or positive or whatever it may be, but we think you're stupid, so we're going to bring a person here that's going to just twerk in your face and to get your votes. Like, wait, hold up, I'm smarter than that.
They don't know who Rhapsody is though. They don't know who she is. People don't know. Who is that? Who is that? Who? Oh, okay, sounds nice. Yeah, but bring up Cardi B, Megan, bring them up there.
Bring up Rhapsody. Okay, because
you and I would say that, but the average person and
absolutely
not going to know. It's not going to go crazy, you know.
Exactly, because
identify.
Rhapsody don't talk about the stuff that Meg Thee Stallion does. Nor do I believe in any of the things that I've listened to from Rhapsody, where her music dives into those types of issues or topics or right? When I say issues, I mean like, girl, my,
Yeah,
this, like I cannot picture Rhapsody rapping about that.
Yeah.
That would absolutely be crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean.
But it sells.
But again, though, like, what's the demand for it, though? Again, at that, you and I would say, where's Rhapsody at? But the most people are going to be like, where's Cardi B? Where's Megan? Where's 21 Savage? Where's Drake? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where's Future? Where's some, give me some, like, let's turn up in here. Come on, what's going on? What y'all doing up in here? You know what I'm saying?
You think that's because we live in a turn up generation? The message is all about turn up?
I don't really know, but I don't want to land a plane too early, but my bottom line is that those of us that do create content and music that is not anti-Black, we got to get out there and promote it. We got to instead of being so worried about like what's being pushed, let's campaign for what we want to promote. Or if you maybe not a musician, but you know of good music like a Rhapsody that's positive, that's spend your time promoting that and show up to those concerts, buy the merch, buy the music, and repost the videos when they come out. Start your own movement and congregate with those who are like-minded and start your own movement and to make that more popular, to put that more to the forefront. Because again, I think the power is with the people, and whatever the people want, people gonna get. If the people want the ratchet stuff, they're gonna keep getting the ratchet stuff.
That's right.
So for Malcolm Jamal Warner, while I agree with him, I think it's kind of, I don't want to say lame, but I just think it's like not productive to sit there and just criticize. You know what I'm saying?
It's never productive to criticize.
Let's make a change. Let's promote he mentioned how conscious rap didn't get promoted. Well, promote some conscious rappers then. Start a record label. Start a marketing company. You know, for me, I'm a marketing guy. I would love to have a marketing promotions company where we just promote the positive stuff. Understanding that it may be a long road. It may be a 30, 40 year mission here, but let's do it. Let's do it and let's get started doing it instead of complaining. Let's go ahead and just promote what we like, you know. And I remember LL Cool J, he did a interview. He on a press run right now.
He is.
He did it, but he
was on Shay Shay.
Yeah, I think it was Club Shay Shay where he said this. I was trying to think of which interview it was. I saw he did an interview with Ray Daniels too today. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, he did do an interview with Ray Daniels.
But see, he everywhere. But I saw him on Club Shay Shay. He said something about, I'm gonna butcher the quote, but he said something about how you could do things that's tasteless tastefully. But what he was saying was that it's art. You can make it, even stuff that's distasteful, if it's done right, can sound good. On the flip side, you can take stuff that may seem corny or positive, done tastefully with a good message, done tastefully, it can sound good. So in other words, if you make positive music, step your game up.
Yeah, for sure.
Make it dope, make it competitive and not corny. You know what I'm saying? And like, let's go for it. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's compete. Let's go out in the market and compete instead of complaining. Compete with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And support those who are like-minded. You know what I'm saying? And don't be so judgmental though, other Megan Thee Stallions, because we all listen. When we close the door, if you got, you know, as adults, you do what you do. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So don't be so judgmental. You know, people get nasty and freaky. You know, listen to R. Kelly, whatever. That's a bad example, R. Kelly, but you know, listen to whatever R&B, nasty music. It's out there. I'm just thinking like it shouldn't be the dominant part of our culture. It shouldn't be like the logo when it comes to what's hip hop. Boom, nasty, freaky, kill your mother, kill everybody, sell drugs. That shouldn't be like our standard. Our that should be like kind of like over here. It's a part of it. We're not going to deny that, but it shouldn't be like the representation, you know, of our culture. It should be more like, you know, positive, uplifting the people. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have a public enemy. You know what I'm saying?
We don't have a public. We don't have a lot of the rappers we had back in the day that were talking about messages that were conscious.
And when I say we don't have them on major record labels. We don't have them on their major deals.
I know what you meant.
That's getting the push. You know what I'm saying? But maybe we should. You know, I remember L.A. Reid saying he, as a record label guy, he would always sign legacy acts. It don't matter how much they sell because he wants legacy acts to have a place to go on a major platform. But we need somebody like to take that kind of stand when it comes to positive hip hop. You know what? As long as I'm an executive, I'm gonna make sure Public Enemy has a record deal, or somebody like that has a record deal a positive rapper, even though they might not be that big, I'm gonna make sure this positive hip hop gets major label treatment. Because don't make no mistake. We talk about indie,
Right.
but the impact unfortunately comes with the big machines. Now you could like go on a 30, 40-year mission. Like, you know what, we're gonna start a indie label promoting positive hip hop, and we gonna push until we become a major. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think as with anything, like even within organizations, if there's a groundswell from the bottom, it can overtake the top easily. Where the top has to change the way that they operate. The top has to change their culture, their perspective, their paradigm.
They're gonna mimic. They're gonna say, "Oh, that's hot. Okay,
yeah,
let me hire this person."
Like they have to. Like if the groundswell is so organized, so well executed, they have to change. I see it time and time again from an organizational perspective. If the top, we got this saying that the fish rot at the head, right? And so if the top is rotten, then usually the whole organization is rotten. But if you have a groundswell of people who want cultural change and they start that movement, the leaders have no choice but to change, or the leaders themselves are going to become obsolete. So it's kind of the same thing, right? So if we're indies and we are the ones that need to create the positive music and the positive movements and create those indie labels where we're pushing positivity, the industry has to change. The big three are going to have to go. Everybody else is doing that. That's what's popping. That's what people want. We must shift and go that way as well, or we will become obsolete. Right? That's usually what happens, is that organizations become obsolete because they don't shift with the time. They don't have enough, ability to pivot correctly. It's the same thing. If they don't shift, they're gonna get left behind. There's gonna be a new big three, and it won't be Sony and Warner and who's Universal? Is it Universal?
See, Sony, Warner, Universal. Yeah,
Sony, Warner, Universal.
Yeah. I remember it used to be a big five.
I remember it used to be I remember it used to be like
when I was
20 record labels.
Well, I mean, like as far as major.
Oh, yeah,
you had EMI was the other one, and
then Sony. I think Sony purchased EMI.
EMI was the other. Who was the other one? BMG.
BMG.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's why I said BMG, but yeah, it was BMG.
Yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, no. So I just think it starts from the top down, from the I'm gonna start from the inside out.
Inside out.
The people have to be the ones that actually demand the change and change their consuming. You know what I'm saying? So go out there and support your favorite positive rapper, and maybe you like me and you tired of all that, even though you indulge in some of that, right? You want more. You tired of. Again, my daughter and I were going to school this morning, and we were listening to new music. A particular rapper who I like a lot plays the album. He gonna have sex with your girlfriend and your girl. Like, what's his obsession with having sex with people's girlfriend? Like, I'm gonna take your woman and I'm rich.
I'm rich, and I'm
rich, and I'm gonna take your girl. That's all they talk about. I'm rich, and I'm gonna take your girl.
Because if I can take your girl, that devalues you as a man. But why you're not man enough to keep your woman?
But why you want something that somebody else already messing with? Though it's kind of like you getting you getting leftovers.
Because it's not even about the woman.
But it's an obsession. So I'm just tired of it. Though. I'm tired of like, okay, I'm gonna take your girl, and I'm richer than you.
The messages are all,
and this is like
literally the same.
I'm like, all right, bro. So if you're tired of that, why don't you make a change? Why don't you get behind a microphone if you think you can? You have to do it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Or if you are rapping right now and you just rapping because it's popular, search yourself. Maybe God got something different for you to rap about.
That's right. That's right. Like, rap about something different, because the messages that I hear currently today in music, especially in hip hop, are almost all the same. Almost all the same. Like, yeah,
man.
It's
I'm rich, you broke, and I got your girl.
I got your girl. look all the money I got. Look all the cars that I got. Look at the houses that I got. I got your girl living in this house and this house and this house. What you gonna do about it? We gonna run up on you. We got the hammers. I'm like, man, really?
Yeah, man.
And what's happening is that it is once again, it's a top. It's coming. The big rappers are getting the fame, the glory, and everybody else is looking at going, well, I want the fame and glory too.
Let me do that, and let me get good at that. Let me get a buzz. Okay, let me get signed. You know, and again, I've said it on this podcast before. Like, I'm not even mad at the messages because I believe it's entertainment, but at the same time, you know, we can diversify a little bit. You know, have some depth. Else. You got a whole album. You got 11 songs, 12 songs on your album, and ain't none of them introspective. You know, you ever cry? You know what I'm saying?
No.
And it's like, you know, unless you like Rod Wave, you know what I'm saying, who got that lane, you know what I'm saying? Right. But like, come on, man. Do you love your mama? You know?
Not why. I mean, Tupac made the song Dear Mama.
Diversify,
like,
man.
Diversify your catalog of music that you got.
For sure. And then people support it. You know, because you might make a positive song. Don't nobody support that.
Well, you know, when you think about songs today that have impact, those songs are memorable. Those songs, for an example, I love, and they always say I talk about J. Cole on every podcast or whatever the case. But there's a reason why. It's because even though some of the songs he's, you know, showing more bravado and doing those types of things, he has songs like Love Yours that have a positive message that's into it. And that song has impacted so many people.
I mean, and I mean to come out on Cole, because Cole has always had something like the Crooked Smile song with the
Crooked
TLC.
Smiles,
he's always
right.
He's on there, but you know, it's kind of I don't want to go off subject, but
no.
We gotta.
I get what you're. I think I know what you're gonna say.
Because like Kendrick said, I don't like Drake when he talk tough. You know, I like Drake when the melody Drake. You know,
melody Drake.
And I like the introspective Cole and the positive Cole. I like the Cole. I'm from the Ville. We'll shoot you up, Cole.
Yeah,
stop that.
Because I don't think Cole's really doing that.
No, so
it's not. Cole, you know you ain't really doing that.
Stop that, man. Cut that out.
So stop that. Cut that out, bro. You're not doing that.
Oh,
but man.
Speaking of shooting up and being tough, man. I've always had a thing for like safety in concerts, right?
For sure.
I just saw the M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap 2, by the way. It's ironic.
For real?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was
no spoilers, but how was it?
It was barely good. It was good, but it could have been much better. But it was good. It was good enough to go watch and enjoy, though.
Okay.
But it could have been a little better. Anyway, but that reminds me, though, you know, the whole Ariana Grande concert. There was a young lady who was a part of some reality show in Florida that got killed by a fan a few years ago.
Yeah.
Forget her name. But safety. You know, I was at a show at a small little bar here in Atlanta. There's a producer battle. Pretty dope. Some dope producers battling. And there was a venue, and it was no metal detector coming in there, you know. And the crowd was dope. It was no issues. You could just tell it wasn't that kind of vibe where no violence. Everybody was enjoying the music.
Right.
But I just thought, what if, you know, somebody just decided to just pull out a gun and just start going crazy? Because there was no checks for nothing.
Wow.
And I didn't know who had what. And we were all close proximity, you know. It could have or like a bomb, anything, you know.
Yeah.
So I just thought about what if, you know. But I'm weird though, and I go to the movies a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the movies you're thinking about. What if somebody just like the guy was in Colorado who shot up the movie theater?
Yeah, shot up the movie theater.
So when it comes to safety, what are we thinking? Because you sent me the article, Taylor Swift, and I researched Taylor Swift had 3 concerts in Austria, and it was at Vienna, Austria.
Yeah, I think Vienna.
3 concerts back to back to back, 60,000 seat,
195,000 people total, bro. I was like,
yeah, and then I think it was another 30,000 expected to be outside the arena. You know what I'm saying? And they had to cancel it because of this terroristic plot. These guys were involved with ISIS. These 18, 19-year-old kids involved with ISIS and planning to like do a suicide bomb there. So they decided the government decided to cancel the whole thing because they didn't. I guess they wanted to be cautious because they didn't know if they got everybody. Because apparently the third person they caught wasn't even directly related to them, and they had his own little plot going on. And they're like, we just gonna cancel the whole thing.
Right.
They don't want to take a chance. And then of course, London, she has concerts in London on the 15th, I think 16th, which is coming up pretty soon. And
this week.
And the London president, like, we gonna go forward with it. So I pray that she has safe shows there and people have a good time. But it makes you wonder, even on a smaller level, because like I said, I was at a show the other day. I don't know, maybe 100 of us was at the bar, maybe more. I don't know. But how are you thinking about safety as an independent artist moving forward? Because it's real out here.
It's real. You never know at what point, at what time somebody decides to act on something right? Some, I mean, even in this case with Taylor Swift, and I don't know what the reasonings are behind why they decided to try to execute this terrorist attack. But
it was a big venue. It was a big venue,
big
and the
venue.
guy lived in like a town like about an hour south. He lived in Austria, about an hour south of where the venue was. So he with ISIS. They recently pledged ISIS. Recently, they said
he said that he was going to try to kill as many people as possible.
Yeah,
they said that they found that he quit his job. He made a post about it.
Yep.
He had created. He took some chemicals.
Yeah, steroids.
Was making a bomb.
Yeah.
He was going to drive a vehicle through traffic.
Fake money, a counterfeit
I'm like,
euros, whatever. Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, my man is kind of playing in some way. Like, what kid kind of thinks about all this stuff and kind of tries to plan this whole thing out without some type of support mechanism or system? Like, can a teenager just carry that out by themselves? Do they have enough? I mean, I guess they have enough examples from movies and things like that, maybe. But for them to plan out something this expansive to carry out this type of attack, stealing chemicals and making bombs, and I'm like, gosh.
What I didn't find out, maybe I don't know if you found it out. I didn't find out how they caught him.
I didn't find out how they caught him
because that would because hopefully whatever he did, the system worked.
Maybe
right.
It's a tip.
It kind of if they found out, and they said he confessed everything when they got him. He confessed it. So maybe I don't know. So whatever it is, hopefully the system worked. But apparently it was such a threat they didn't feel comfortable with going forward with the concert.
And I think that's the right. So from an independent perspective, how do indie artists, indie creatives think about safety when they are either attending social gatherings, music events, and as a participant and as a person who is performing? Like, that's something that you really got to start thinking about, because I remember going to venues here in Atlanta. Ain't nobody pat me down.
Ain't nobody pat me down this past Saturday.
We didn't go through no metal detector.
And I think that's got to be at top of your list. I think if you're doing shows, you got to be some kind of search for weapons.
We need security guards.
You got to hire, put it in your budget, put it in your concert rider. I'm not coming. Like if somebody's booking you to do a show, I need the security layout. Am I before I sign whatever I sign the concert rider to agree to come, security must be at the door to check for weapons. Period. And there must be security there to secure myself, or either you pay me extra and I get my own security,
right,
or whatever. But you got to think about security, man.
You got to think about security
because anything can happen. It's crazy
at any moment, at any time.
And these small venues, like I said, you've been to them, a lot of these places. Just
Edgewood.
Just pay the extra all over there. Yeah, I went to. It was on flat shows where I went.
Okay,
You just pay. We checking you out the door. We patting you down.
We're gonna check. You have to think about that. It's because these things aren't just impacting large venues, mega stars. Think about if a fight can break out at Waffle House. What makes you think a fight cannot break out at a local music event?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing, the heartbreaking thing is that we're not proactive because, and I pray to God, knock on wood, nothing happens in any of these little local venues, but all it takes is one shooting or something. Somebody die, and then it's going to be law. Well, how about we just be proactive and just kind of police that now? There was
a venue here where Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
So Hatch used to do with I Stand It. They used to do pretty much all of their beat battles and showcases at this one venue.
Harlem Nights.
Yeah, Harlem Nights. Right? Harlem Nights, right? They had an incident. Harlem Nights shut down. It closed. I remember I getting the message yo, we can't have the event there this year because it's closed indefinitely.
Oh, dang.
I was like, what? Because they had a situation. And to ensure people's safety.
They didn't search. I can't remember Harlem Nights if they searched people coming in. I don't remember. I think they kind of did.
I think they did. Nah.
I don't remember though.
I don't know. I don't remember. Here's what I do remember going to Harlem Nights is, let me see your ID. You get the ID. I think they did pat you down. I think there was are you good?
something,
Are you
man. I
good?
mean, at least I don't know because I know. But as a performer, though, you got to think about that, and even as a participant, like I said, I looked around and consequently, I didn't stay for the whole thing. I got out of
Right.
there. Like, okay, I'm not one of them outside people anyway, man. I'm more so. It takes a lot to get me outside. I just like it. My homeboy, shout out my homeboy, CJ, DJ CJ plays. He invited me out, but I probably wouldn't have went if my homie didn't, because he helped put the event on. But because it's too crazy out here, man. I'm a homebody. I stay at home, man, and just and just unless it's a sporting event, that's my weakness. Sporting event,
You got to go to the sporting event,
or like a certain concert, certain like major concerts. But even then, though, they pat you down and they like,
right?
But then you got to worry about to and from the venue, parking lot, all them people, But yeah, man, it's crazy out here.
So, do you think that the future of the way that events are conducted are going to change?
It's funny you mention that. There's a mother of one of the victims of the Ariana Grande concert who was pushing for like a law. I think it was called Martin's Law, where there has to be special security precautions for concerts, like special, like some kind of federal security precautions, and that's over in the UK. But I think that again, it'll take a tragedy happening to do that, whereas we should be proactive. So I think in the future there should be some kind of like extra security, extra, But again, though, but it's like, what about all these quote unquote freedoms, right? Because you being intrusive and
Yeah, but don't we already have examples of situations where there has been major tragedy? Like, I can't remember the country singer who the dude was on the
LA.
roof in Vegas. The dude was on the roof in Vegas, shooting into the crowd, killing people. And it was an open concert in the middle. I think it was like in the middle of a
strip or something like that.
Yeah, some place. And my man was trying to Call of Duty everybody. And I'm like,
you know how it is though. We get rocked to sleep, right? Something happens, we all alert, and then we kind of get lackadaisical. We get lackadaisical, as a nation.
Fall back.
Because the thing about it is, you had that one crowd that doesn't want government presence. They don't want to be policed too hard because it's a violation of our freedoms, right? So,
man, forget them freedoms. When it comes, man,
or like 9/11. After 9/11 happened, it's like, okay, now we can look at your phones now. Now we can like.
Now is Big Brother going to be more involved?
Yeah, make no mistake. These cell phones, like, I am fully aware that anything I type on here can be accessed by the government.
Oh man, of course.
Like,
man, I know Siri be
anything. Like, and they try to.
I know they be listening,
and they disguise it under the guise of marketing and promotion. We're gonna like market to you better, and it might be some marketing and promotion a part of it, but also part of it is just like them knowing what's going on.
Yeah, of course.
So, and they talk about. I shouldn't say this, but people always talk about like the mark of the beast and getting the COVID shot. I'm like, bro, if you got a cell phone, you got the mark of the beast. Okay, if you got a cell phone, this is the market. And I love. I'm a Christian. I'm just saying, but it's the truth though. This is it. The government got you. Like
they got you,
and they got control of you because you lose your phone. You about to panic. You got to get that mark. You got to get that mark of the beast back on you. It's the truth, man. So it's like. And they got us.
I mean, in its fullest context, right? It's people think it's not to get into the whole Christian thing about mark of the beast and it's symbolism. Is there going to be real on your hand, on your forehead that you got to purchase and buy and all those things? I mean, he's like, it's the phone right now today.
I'm telling you.
But these phones do be listening. I know they be listening. Anything you type, anything you insert into that phone is definitely traceable. It's trackable. So look. So here's the example, right? So it was crazy. So my wife was watching something for her real estate that she does. I started getting advertisements on my link on my Instagram. I'm like, I'm not searching for this dude. Why am I seeing your messages on? Yeah, because they know.
Oh no,
they know.
Have you watched what is it? The Social Dilemma on Netflix? And that came out 5-6 years ago, but that lays everything out though. Like that explains everything. Like you're absolutely being watched and monitored, and it's legal because, like I said, man, like if it's an issue of national security, we need to look in. We need
So is that the trade-off for safety?
Okay, back to the point. Good.
Yeah, is that the trade-off?
It might, unfortunately, because people don't know how to act, man.
You want to be safe?
It's crazy folks out here. Yeah, I want to be safe. So yeah, look at so and so phone to know that he's planning to blow up a grocery store because you looked on his phone. Unfortunately, but see, we gotta trust the government though, because
and that ain't happening.
Because I mean, again, I believe everything is accessible, but if it does mean stopping the bombing, then I guess you can look through my phone.
It's like,
I mean, I got stuff to hide. I don't want you seeing all my little. But at the same time, I ain't planning to kill nobody. So sure, go ahead and
That's right. That's a trade-off, right? It's like, okay, you want more safety, but in order for us to provide more safety so that we could be proactive in stopping these things from happening, we need access to networks, we need access to data, we need access to systems, and that'll give us, because now we can be preventative. We can be preventative, and once we see that people are doing certain types of, right, we can put in certain types of keywords and activities, and once those things start to pop up, then we can, we got a hit because somebody who in that, right, chemicals to kill people, how to make a bomb, they gonna look for you, right? So there has to be some type of keywords, but sometimes the government takes it too far and they just look at everybody's devices when everybody's not doing it. But then that's the trade-off. It's like, if you're gonna do it to do this, it has to be applicable to everyone. And that's the trade-off, and that's the thing that people have issues with.
That's a good point, Brian. That's a real good point, man, because how are you going to justify, how are you going to are you going to be, you sleep better at night knowing that you're safe, or knowing that that you have no kind of privacy at all? Are you just a minion of the government? Not a minion, but are you just like a dummy? You know what I'm saying?
No privacy.
Just does the government own you?
You're sacrificing privacy for safety. And that's the trade-off. And that's what they want to. I ain't gonna get into the whole thing about whether some of these are set up or some of these are planned, or some of these are
conspiracy. Yeah,
right.
And we gonna have a tragedy here,
right?
To justify this whole. Because some folks believe 9/11 was a conspiracy to justify all the freedoms that we quote unquote lost.
Of course,
because after that, the whole Homeland Security Department got started.
Homeland didn't exist until that. We need a way where we can do whatever we need to do. How can we make that happen? There's a lot of people who believe that.
It's the same thing with COVID. People think that was set up so that they can
So I'm gonna tell you something. It's crazy, right? And the crazy thing about it is, when I was in St. Louis, in the whole Mike Brown thing, right? And they were always going around talking about Black people starting these, riots and throwing stuff and doing this. There were people, and I'm from St. Louis. There's there's people that are looking at other people like, who are you and why are you here? The stories is that they were sending people to these areas to start stuff. People that they had never seen in those communities ever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we saw that here at the Wendy's when the guy got murdered at the Wendy's. They found somebody who wasn't from there throwing a bomb into the Wendy's to blow it up, and they wasn't even from Atlanta.
You're not even from here, but you're here to cause situations and issues and panic and destruction. But you're not even from here. What we're fighting for, why are you here? It's so crazy. But yes, people believe in conspiracy theories, and so it's crazy.
But bringing it on home, though,
it's crazy.
Again, I think what's dope about this show, at least since I've been here, we bring out stuff to think about. We're not telling you what to do. We're just telling you these are things you got to be aware of and you got to be concerned about, and you got to have some kind of position, some kind of plan, some kind of stance. It's got to be in your manual. Somebody on your team got to be aware of it, because it is, like I said, man. And we don't want tragedies to happen and then you do it. We want you to do it, and we hope that it's for you may feel like it was pointless hiring. Well, high security is a waste of money. Good. If you feel like it's a waste of money, that means nobody got hurt and it's good. but do it. Be safe out here, man, because it's crazy folks out here, man.
Right.
Especially if you want these rappers talking greasy, right?
If you're talking greasy and you out here 16, 17, you're young.
They're going to want to test you. You know what I'm saying? And remember, it's all entertainment. So you got to hire security, not your homeboys. You know, real security and move like a real business, you know. But
real security. Because your homeboys are going, as soon as somebody come up, your homeboys going to want to fight too. And you got to have real security that's going to figure out the situation to protect you, de-escalate, make sure people are safe. Like, your homeboys are going to want to fight. That's the issue. They are going to want to fight.
Yeah, but just be safe out here, though.
But man, I think that's the key. Be safe. But man, on another topic, and I think this topic got me kind of crazy right here. I'm like, so
go ahead, drop it.
So recently, Nelly got arrested.
Oh, okay,
right?
That one, okay.
Yeah, so recently, Nelly got arrested in St. Louis. I know exactly where he got arrested at. Like literally, I know in Maryland Heights. I used to live in Maryland Heights.
Okay.
I know where the casino is in Maryland Heights. I know exactly. I remember when they were building this casino. I remember there was nothing there, and all of a sudden they started building the casino. I was like, oh, what are they building over here? Oh, boom, huge casino, right? No, I know exactly where it is. But what really got me is that, okay, so he got arrested. But what he got arrested for, or at least what they were coming to him for, was a traffic violation in 2018.
Okay. So like an unresolved.
It's 2024.
Yeah.
It's traffic violation. Insurance. Oh, you have your insurance? Really? This is this setup. This is a setup.
Target?
This is the target right here, bro. This is a target. 2018.
But that stuff do stay in the system.
28. Nelly live in St. Where Nelly go? Like y'all don't know Nelly live in St. Louis, and he in St. Louis. Y'all see him driving around all the time.
Oh, so you think because of who he is, they would have said, "Hey, man, you need to take care of your little." We saw you, you know. Okay, I get what you. I get that a little bit.
So the article talks about they believe it was a vendetta from one of the state troopers or whoever it was, sheriff, state trooper, police, officials that has something against Nelly. But 2018, for me, that was the first thing. I'm like, how you going 2018, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's 6 years ago, my guy. Like in all these 6 years, there was no way for you to find Nelly at all to say, hey, it's insurance. Like, it's not, he doesn't have insurance on his car. I guess, like, well, first of all, how do you not have insurance in your car? I guess if that was the situation. And so they come up into the casino to arrest my man, and they find what they presume to be ecstasy, because they didn't do any type of chemical testing or anything. They just assumed that it was. But I was talking to a friend of mine. He was like, if you looked at Nelly's face, he was kind of like, like this out of it. But I don't know. I wasn't there. For 2018. So here's the thing. So based upon that, first of all, I think it's a setup. I do think it's you got 6 years to come after my man, to talk to him about this insurance issue. It's not even a felony. It's not. I don't even think it's a misdemeanor.
For drugs?
No, the traffic violation.
Okay.
Because that's what they got him on, was the traffic violation.
But is he guilty of having the drugs on him though? That's my question.
He's guilty of having the drugs on him.
Okay, then.
He's absolutely guilty.
So
but you wouldn't have known he had these 4 pills on him if you ain't come after for some 2018.
Yeah, but if you moving right, they can't touch you.
True,
so
I get that.
You can harass me. As a matter of fact, I might sue you if you harass me too much. But if I got illegal drugs in the car, then I got to take responsibility for it. I can't point fingers.
Well,
that's how I feel about it.
True, I get it. You always got to move right. You always got to move smart, move right.
And if he's impaired in any way, I definitely got no sympathy for him, because people die every day from impaired driving.
That's right.
It's no excuse, man. Driving. Especially if you got money.
Especially if you got money.
Because I can go.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not rich yet. I'm working on it. But
we gonna get there, bro.
But I'll call an Uber if I need. I use Uber all the time.
Well, I think he probably was staying at the casino.
I left my car I've been in Atlanta. I left my car downtown Atlanta plenty of times and just Uber home and got it the next day because I wouldn't drive.
Right.
Or the person I was with left me and I can't drive. Okay. It's no excuse.
No excuse. But
to-
I assumed he was staying. They didn't mention it, but I assumed he was staying at the casino. I mean, they got hotel rooms there. I'm assuming he's staying at the casino, you know. But true, I don't have any sympathy for anybody who's on drugs, who are endangering lives, endangering other people,
can't do that.
driving, doing crazy stuff. I have no sympathy for that. Right. My only issue with this whole thing, one, it was a violation, traffic violation 6 years ago. You couldn't say nothing to my man the entire time, right? Knowing Nelly in St. Louis, right? Cornell is not, he ain't like he hiding.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Like, I didn't really like worried about Nelly that much. Like, I didn't really like, okay, well, we got to.
Obviously, somebody was.
We need to go call Nelly and tell him he got it. You know, maybe he was.
No.
What did they stop him for?
He was in the hotel. He didn't get stopped. He was in the casino doing casino stuff. They came into the casino.
Did he drive? Did they see him driving in the casino?
I don't know.
Because I got to read.
They didn't state whether he was driving into the casino, but he was already there in the casino already.
Okay.
And they came into the casino like, hey, you got this traffic thing. Matter of fact, let's search you. And that's how they found it. It ain't like he walking around with the 4 pills in his hand, like, you know, doing casino activities.
I'm not going to front.
Searched him.
I'm not going to front. I read the headlines. I read a little bit, but I didn't dive that deep into it to know these details. So maybe I might be on a little side if I have to do a little more review. And I'm thinking it was a traffic stop.
Nah. They look. He was arrested Wednesday morning in St. Louis casino relating to an active. It was an active warrant from a previous years-old traffic charge, according to the Missouri State Highway.
Oh, okay, I get what you. Okay.
During a search at the time of the arrest, authorities said they found the musician to be in possession of 4 pills that they believe.
Oh, on this person, on him. Okay, I get. Okay,
believed to be ecstasy, right?
I get it. That's lame.
It says Nelly's attorney said in a statement that to CNN that the musician was targeted by an overzealous out-of-line officer who conducted a search without probable cause.
Oh yeah. I'm on your side,
right?
With that.
Without probable cause.
Okay,
right? The arrest took place at the Hollywood Casino, which is in Maryland Heights.
Yeah, doing some big sting operation for a traffic ticket.
Yeah.
6 years ago. Okay, I get it. I'm on your side.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Failure to appear on an old traffic charge with no proof of insurance in Maryland Heights. That's why they got him. No proof of insurance.
Okay.
But to bring it to what I wanted to talk about. Drug culture in hip hop, like it's a thing.
Listen,
it is a thing.
If you rich and you got access to that stuff, you know what I'm saying.
But why is it so prevalent though? Why is drugs so prevalent in?
Because they're rock stars
in the music industry.
Because they're rock stars, man, and they can. A lot of people do stuff because they can do it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's for like the average person working a 9 to 5. You know, get drug tests.
You are getting drug tested.
You can't work impaired. You know what I'm saying? You can work impaired in hip hop.
you can show up drunk. You can show up high.
There's no drug test.
Right.
And you got the money to finance it. You got the influence. You know what I mean? Like, so I think all those things play a factor in it. And not to mention, you're talking about it in the music. And again, like I said, they want to live it so bad. They want to really live it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm drunk. I'm high. No guy. I'm smoking. I'm drinking. Pop pills. Percocet. Ecstasy.
I don't get it. You know, so Crank Lucas. You know who Crank Lucas is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Crank Lucas did a like an evolution of music, and it was just amazing to watch him kind of do this evolution of music because he showed how hip hop first started and what they were talking about, and how it gradually just transformed into Molly's and Percocets and lean and all that. And it's they started talking about positivity, you know, and community and like, you know, hip hop. And then it transformed into that to selling drugs to, you know, people doing drugs and it become an epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
And now people on drugs as rappers talking about doing drugs. And it's like drug culture is heavy. And I grew up in that. Trust me. I grew up in seeing drugs on the counter, on the bed. I mean, it's no secret, right? So anybody watching the podcast, it's no secret not to, you know, if my family watching, it is what it is, y'all. Like I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna tell the facts. Why? Because it's my story. Even though it may involve you and you may be been a participant, it is still my story because I still lived it. You can't take that away from me. And so I told the story one time how my mom was on crack. And so I was 14 years old. I mean, I've literally lived this and seen it. My mom went to jail, when I'm a young kid. And I, to this day, and I mentioned it on a podcast episode, the very first one, matter of fact, to this day, I still thank my stepfather for stepping in and still being the man and to keep that situation together, because my mom could have lost me. I'm still a young kid. I'm 14 years old. She off in jail. The foster people like, well, the state's like, well, who has the kid? My stepdad was like, I got him. I was like, man, thank you. Like to this day, thank you. I appreciate you for that. Like for real.
That's dope.
But it's a prevalent thing, right? It's a real thing in music. People are on drugs.
Well, I think,
and they talk about drugs.
I think it's the lack of balance because they were on drugs in the 80s too.
They were.
You think about the same people that made The Message,
White lines,
exactly,
pure as driven snow. They talking about snorting cocaine. That's exactly what they talking about.
Exactly, right? So, and I remember reading the Russell Simmons and all them cocaine. Right. I mean, DMC has an amazing story. Run DMC.
Oh yeah,
he talks about how he was doing cocaine. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know nothing about that.
But they were doing it, but not glorifying it.
Right.
Now they doing it and glorifying.
But what I'm saying is that but it was a balance. And even NWA when they made Dope Man, the end of the record is like all the gangster rappers.
Dope man.
All the gangster rappers had like they told you the consequences that came with it. At the end of the record, how the guy got Dope Man, was gonna get killed because he got the dude brother came. So it's like it was always a balance to it. It's no kind of balance today.
No balance today.
No balance
at all. It's a free for all.
It's a free for all. And again, like the drug it's like it's being celebrated. You know what I mean? I mean, we just saw, I don't know if you saw this, Michael Jordan's son, they got pictures of him snorting cocaine.
What?
Yeah, yep.
What? I did not see that.
And actually, he's literally putting the cocaine up his nose.
Goodness. I didn't see that.
It was happening last week. He was in France somewhere. By the pool, eating watermelon, and they're making jokes about
eating watermelon, snorting
they're
cocaine.
making jokes about it. Yeah, like they're talking about how it's his business, but he shouldn't embarrass his father and all that. But it's like these people got money,
They got money.
You'll be surprised how many of them actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
They got money, and it's like you can buy anything, right? You're
exactly.
rich.
So I'm
you
gonna
can
go ahead
buy
and
anything.
buy some. Well, when he used to say God bless the dead, when he used to say, "Oh, crack is too cheap," I'm eating coke. That's too cheap. I'm not cheap
because people are looking for that rush,
or they want to feel like they they
want to feel like superstars.
Yeah, get some coke, get some pills,
get some drink in here. We having a whole what's that movie? The three guys that go to like Las Vegas, and Mike Tyson got the tiger.
Oh yeah,
the tiger.
Hangover.
Yeah, Hangover.
Yeah,
they on like third movie, right?
Ty Phillips. Yeah,
right. And so they trying to live the hangover life, like but for me specifically, I don't know what's exciting about that life, and the reason why for me is because I seen what it looked like. I seen the impact that it had. I seen that it can tear up families. I seen what it can do. It makes somebody who's 250 pounds 150 pounds.
Yeah,
like I've seen what it looks like. You think you've seen? Not Smokey, but what's my man from New Jack City, Pookie?
Pookie, yeah,
bro,
Chris Rock.
I seen Pookie in real life.
Oh,
I'm like, oh,
I've seen him.
I don't want that.
I've seen him too.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
But I don't think that that's the intention. You know what I'm saying? They don't just say, okay, this is what I'm gonna be. Like a lot of these rappers, man. And was it Rich the Kid or was it no? It wasn't Rich. It was famous. I think it was Famous Dex.
Oh yeah, Famous Dex.
That just kind of just like
Famous Dex
lost himself. Like I think he's in rehab. He's been in and out of rehab, but he just all that lean and whatever else he was taking can't even speak a coherent sentence, and it's just like just get real ugly, And you had rappers that died too from lean, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think they necessarily intended for that when they started, but once you get addicted, you're an addict now.
You're addicted.
You're an addict now. So I just think that as independent rappers and musicians and singers and people who getting into that world, you gotta again, not telling you what to do, but you gotta have your moral compass set going into it,
sure.
to at least know what you're encountering, because it can get out of control.
You got to have boundaries.
Yeah,
you got to have boundaries of what. You got to have boundaries, man. Like,
what if you're a producer or a new rapper and you're at the studio with an entourage and you want to get you want to get signed by, let's say, I ain't gonna say no names, but whatever popular rapper,
right?
And you're there and everybody's doing it, and like you trying to get a deal, you trying to get part of the crew.
It's the fit in thing. That's exactly what it is. It is fitting in, and so when I first joined the military, right? I mean, you got on the BDUs today. I told you I should have went upstairs and put on the BDUs today, but
it's Snoop Dogg.
You got the Snoop Dogg joint.
Dog supply clothing at Walmart.
Right, but it's for me, a military dude, see, it's like, oh, he got BDUs on, battle dress uniform, right? We ready to go to war. But when I first joined the military, when I was in high school, I was a very shy kid, and so now when I'm in the military, I'm actually in the military in high school as a senior in high school. Waiting to go to, I'm on the delayed entry program.
So my brother was.
Yeah, I'm on that program. And so I got to go like that September. And so when I get to my, we go through basic training, then you get to your, you do all that basic training stuff. You get to your primary duty station. I wanted to fit in. What did military people do back in the day? Smoke cigarettes, smoke weed. Right, that's what they did. We did 4 things really. There was only 4 things that we did in the military. Well, 5. And now I'm adding another.
You adding?
Right, we smoke cigarettes, we smoke weed, we drink, we had lots of sex, and we went to the club. That was the only, and we did our basic, regular duty. But outside of that, it was one of those 5 things that we did. Right, but I wanted to fit in. And I'm a shy kid who didn't really have a ton of friends growing up. It's like, y'all want to fit in. I'm in this unit with 30 guys. I want to fit in. 15 of them smoke weed. Everybody on my floor smoke weed. I need to fit in. Almost everybody on my floor smoke. They drink. My roommate, oh my gosh. I remember going into the thing. My roommate had all these St. Ives caps on the top. I was like, I want to fit in. I'm a drink too. And it takes me back to thinking about, what is the support system that, right? Because if I had a support system that was like, yo, B, you shouldn't really do that, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I didn't. They were like, yeah, man, you want some of this? You want some of this St. Ives? They'll be passing around. Hey, you want this? But if I had a support system, now, granted, I could have been like my own moral compass saying, no, this is bad. I don't want to do it. But the pressure. So the question is, do artists have these types of support systems where they have people around them that are challenging them not to do these types of activities?
Maybe you should,
That's the question. Do they have them?
It reminds me of Gucci Mane, and I think Zaytoven would tell the story on an interview how Gucci would always brag about him because, of course, Zaytoven worked very closely with Gucci. I think Gucci might be one of the reasons Zaytoven even blew up, but he was, because Zaytoven was always in the church. Mm-hmm. He never drank, smoked, and he was saying how Gucci would always brag about him. About in the midst of Gucci going crazy, wilding out on all kind of drugs, lean, mm-hmm. he would always brag about how, Zay don't do none of that, man. So it shows you can coexist if you stand your ground. You can coexist and still create magic and be well respected, by people who are doing that. And you don't got. Obviously, he was around it all, but he didn't do it.
Right.
So I think that's a good example of. And I'm not telling you to indulge, not indulge. I'm just telling you to know where you are. And if you don't want to indulge, you don't have to.
You don't have to. But I think in that case with Zaytoven, he had a great support system.
Oh yeah.
Great parents
mm-hmm.
in the church, great community, right? There was that system, that concentration of people that were right there with him.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not have physically been in the studio as he's creating with that, but it was that consistency that he was getting from that support system, at least in my belief, that allowed him to still stay on that trajectory of saying, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. No, man. So yeah.
Once again, we ain't trying to tell you what to do.
Right.
But as independent artists, you got to have boundaries. You got to have discipline enough to say, you know what, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm cool. And trust me, the crazy thing is that people will respect it. If they see that you and you stick to your morals,
again,
they will respect
the Gucci
it.
Zaytoven
They're not gonna continue. Hey man, I know you said you don't want to do this, but hey, take a sip of this. I'm good. Once they know you good, they're not gonna ask you no more.
Especially if you're confident in who you are and what you bring to the table.
That's right.
If you're confident, of course Gucci gonna be like, hey man, I need to work with this guy. So all right, bro, whatever you know,
right,
if you valuable and you stand your ground on who you are, you gotta worry about it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's the message right there. Speaking of the message, right? That's the actual message right there.
Don't.
Oh my gosh.
Push me.
Because right, that's what I'm thinking about that song now. Right now, you think about the words in that song. They literally was like, "Yo, we really doing cocaine, y'all. Trust me. I'm too close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head." It's like a jungle sometimes. It make me want to keep from going under. Because you doing all that cocaine. That's how you.
That's
oh my
funny.
goodness, bro. It's white lines, and that was the thing. Pure as a driven snow.
Yeah.
I'm like, but they were talking about doing a lot of drugs. But anyway, we ain't trying to tell you what to do. Just have boundaries for it. But I guess that's what we're trying to tell you to do. Is have some boundaries for yourself.
Speaking of boundaries, man, where do we draw the boundaries with fair use of recorded work and artificial intelligence?
Let me tell you. So I had to look it up.
I did too.
Once again, I'm all about research. I want to make sure. Yeah. So I looked it up. Fair use is the U.S. legal doctrine that permits brief excerptions of copyrighted material, right? Excerpts under certain circumstances. And this is where I found it to be kind of crazy. To be quoted verbatim for purposes such as criticism, news reporting, teaching, which is training. Training and teaching are synonymous. There's literally the same thing, right? And research without the need for permission from or payment to the copyright holder.
Okay, let's break down the story though for people to
break it down
at home because we can get back to that.
Yeah.
Break the story down.
So if you don't know, there's the lawsuit that's going on between the big three, right? Sony, Warner, and Universal. They are suing Suno and Udio, the AI creators of, you can go online, put in the prompts and make, I want this type of song and this type of style, sounding like this type of artist, and it spits out music and lyrics, and boom, you got like a whole song. People have made thousands of songs with these types of things, but the record labels are like, yo, enough. Like, we coming to sue y'all. And so what's so crazy is that this article says that they admitted to it. So that's what the lawsuit is saying, that you are using copyrighted music to train your AI models so that when those people put in those prompts, it can spit out music that is like these types of songs that are currently copywritten by artists, because we own the publishing, right? So we're gonna sue you.
I don't know how I feel about it either way, because what if this happened back in like the 50s and 40s with automotive industries? They will buy like a Model T, for example, from Henry Ford, bring it back to the warehouse, take it all apart, study it, and I'm going to start, I don't know, Chrysler or General Motors. I don't know exactly how that happened, but that's what was going on though. I'm going to take your new invention, I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to make a competitor. So, right. And it's like, if I pay full price for the car, you're going to tell me what to do with it when I bring it back? I can't look under the hood and make my... Well, so it's like kind of like...
Well, they're not paying for it. So Udio and Suno aren't paying for the music.
How they coming to that? Did they buy? They go to iTunes and pay $15.99 for the record. So
what they said, right, is that they're using the music, and that the music is open. Whatever music is open on the internet, and they said they have made sure to adhere to paywalls and protection, and
so they probably bought
all these other things,
iTunes,
right?
They
probably got iTunes. They probably got an iTunes subscription.
They bought Michael Jackson,
Apple Music.
they bought Michael Jackson's catalog,
exactly,
album by album. They paid for it $50.99 a pop, right? And they input it, study Michael Jackson. So now when somebody types Michael Jackson, it's kind of like, it seems kind of legal to me. I mean, it don't seem right. It seems kind of like, it's definitely concerning for musicians and creatives.
So, like I said, I was this one I wanted to research the heck out of this one, right? So, so to a statement that you just said, where you said it happened like in the 1950s or whatever the case, this is a position that Suno and Udio is taking, saying, when records, and this is one of their quotes, when records first began to gain commercial traction in the 1930s, musicians aggressively lobbied against their use, warning that replacing orchestras with pre-recorded performances would leave the real musicians on the human scrap heap.
That is exactly right.
Right?
I literally, I had a book in college I reread last year called Rockonomics, about how rock and roll first started. And that was they literally, even the radio, the radio, because if you can play it for the public to hear, we can't perform it nowhere.
You can't perform it.
So it was like it was a real big deal. They was against that. So that's
right.
They kind of spitting a little bit. They spitting a little bit.
So why do I need to come listen to you perform when I got it in an MP3?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm coming to see you perform is because I want to see the live thing. I want to see my favorite artist in person.
But back then, when we recorded music, they did face that.
They did face that, right? And that's what they said. The statement was, if the record labels want to do whatever they want to do, they're going to do it. Because this was more advantageous for the record labels back then to do, albums than to hire the orchestras. Oh, we can just have it pre-recorded. We don't got to hire all these people. Cool, that saves us money. That means more money for us. And so Suno and Udio was like,
that's a good point.
So Suno and Udio was like, whatever is good for us.
They were spitting with that. They were spitting with that right there. They were spitting, boy.
They're like, we're gonna do whatever it is that we are going to do, right? And so the big three have come back and said, I got these statements from the article. It said their industrial scale infringement does not qualify as fair use. There's nothing fair about stealing an artist's life's work, extracting its core value, and repackaging it to compete directly with the originals. It says, as the Supreme Court just held in the landmark Andy Warhol Foundation case, right? So I went to go look. What are they talking about in the Andy Warhol case, right? So Goldsmith, who was a photographer back in the day, and Andy Warhol made these silk prints of Prince, the artist Prince, right? And so they said Goldsmith sued the Andy Warhol Foundation, successor to Warhol's copyright in the Prince series, for copyright infringement. The foundation raised fair use as a defense. The district court granted summary judgment for the foundation, concluding that Warhol had transformed the original photography by giving it a new meaning and message. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit holding that because the Prince series remained recognizably derived from the original, it failed to conform and was thus not fair use. And here's how they are saying that it's not fair use. So Udio and Suno has said the reason why they're claiming that it's not fair use is because they went directly to our platforms, put in the full lyrics of those songs, which is against our terms of use. This is what they're saying, is against our terms of use. And they put in, I wish I had the prompt, man. The prompt that they put in was crazy. It was like, we needed to sound like this, and this style with these people. And blah. They said they made it so it came out with those lyrics to sound, it was Go Johnny Be Good. That was the song, Johnny Be Good. They said they put that exact thing in their system and it spit out a song just like Johnny Be Good, because the lyric said, go Johnny, go, go. Yeah, if you put that as a lyric, it's going to give you that lyric.
Right.
So they're saying, well, Udio and Suno are saying that you violated our terms of use by doing this in our system, but you're saying we violated fair use because we didn't ask for permission. So is it fair use or is it not fair use? Because if it's fair use, they don't have to ask for permission. They don't have to even pay you for it because it's fair use.
And I think you got to argue that they're exploiting the original work publicly, and they're not. Technically, they're doing something privately maybe with it, but their output is different. Technically, it's technically different output.
Technically different, and that's, first of all, let me say, I'm not a lawyer.
Me either.
Right? Brian is not a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. Right? So some of these terms that we're saying, you're going to have to go research and get more in depth. I am actually going to go back and read the statements that Studio. I'm thinking of that song, Studio, when I say it, but Suno,
Phil Collins,
right? Phil Collins, Suno and Udio, they got these statements. Matter of fact, the lawyers that are representing Suno and Udio are the same lawyers that are representing Spotify, in the MLC lawsuit. The same lawyers, right? Represent the same ones. I mean, is it fair? I don't know, right? I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a history diving into what's fair use and what's not fair use.
What do you think? Do you think it's ethical what they're doing?
Let me say it this way. If they're using the music to train their models, and that's all they're using it for, probably not an issue. I come from a training background.
Okay.
Right? I've been in the learning and development industry for 26 years. Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun. Right? If you go to this leadership class, trust me, it's going to be almost similar to this leadership class. It may use different words, different phraseology. It's primarily the same. This sales training is kind of like this sales training. This education system is kind of like this education system. Where do you think they get it from? Like, they're borrowing from each other. There isn't one, entity that's like, oh, this is ours. Now, they have certain copy, writing materials that you can't duplicate. Like Franklin Covey has, certain phrases and models that you can't copy. But shoot, even Franklin Covey borrowed their model from somebody else. It's like,
yeah.
So what's fair use and what's not? Is it fair use? Because they're not taking that song and putting that song out themselves. They have used it. Now, keep in mind, with AI, with machine learning, right? Machine learning, that's they're using models to train. Right? What do you think about Chat GPT? Right? Chat GPT has to get his information from somewhere.
So are the floodgates going to open up for other lawsuits if the record labels are successful in suing these companies? Can any AI get sued because they're training their AI to produce output based on something that's standard, that's copyrighted, that's trademarked or whatever. So I think on the surface though, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. And as far as independent musicians go, you all got to make a stand on if you're gonna use this stuff or not. Because I know in Hollywood, for example, I saw that movie Late Night with the Devil. Great horror movie, one of the best of the year, I thought. And the movie almost didn't do as well because it was a big controversy because they used a piece of artwork that was in the movie in the background of a scene. It was supposed to be like a movie poster. Was produced by AI, and the unions, the graphic artists, threw a fit. How dare Hollywood use AI in Hollywood? And they all almost overthrew that whole operation and they had to apologize. And I think they took it out the movie. You know what I'm saying? It was a real big deal for over one little.
Right.
Imagine we shooting a movie and that's in the background and we realized that was AI generated and they just went crazy over it. Right. The hustle sign was AI generated.
Oh yeah.
So you have to kind of consider that as well in the music industry because AI. But of course, with music though, AI is running rapid as far as music itself. And you can benefit from that. Even me, like I got a production partner who I make beats with, but they got a thing now where you can just hum what you want and it'll do it. I hum to my boy. I hum, hey, play this melody on this what you call it, this key or whatever. Now you can just hum it and type it in the thing and it'll, so, and there's no limits. There's a program that I was looking at last year. If you want beats, type of kind of beat you want, it'll make the beat for you. Literally.
Yeah, that's what
it'll make the beat for you. And it's close to free. Close to. You pay a monthly subscription.
Udio and Suno.
Monthly subscription. And you can just tell some kind of beat you want. And
yes, sir.
It's your beat.
Yes, sir.
And you can roll around with it.
Yes, sir.
And it's like, this is what it's coming to. So as an independent artist, you can probably benefit off of it, I guess. But the reason for me, as a rapper, I couldn't really rock with it because the beats never gave. They're always missing something.
Always missing something. They always sound a little muddy
it was missing something. Yeah. And so I figured maybe we can kind of use it a little bit. Maybe we can get melodies from it. Maybe we can. We're gonna still add this human touch to it. I'm not gonna get a whole beat from them because it's just kind of like it's weird. It is. It sounds weird. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like, you would never be able to replace. Or though, like I watched one guy make a video on this. He was saying that these companies, I forget their names, you just named them, but they're going to keep getting better at it.
They are.
As they train, if they give them more input.
Yes, sir.
He's saying right now, the stuff isn't really that good, but it's gotten better and it's gonna get good.
Yeah. So the AI companies, this is what they're saying. Suno, from Suno. Suno says they see musicians, teachers, and everyday people using a new tool to create original music. The labels see a threat to their market share.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's correct.
It says, so the lawsuits are an attempt to misuse IP, intellectual property rights, to shield incumbents from competition.
Are they spitting? They ready for war.
They ready for war. They like, oh, don't think we don't have lawyers. Y'all got lawyers. Don't think we ain't got lawyers too that know ready. IP and that know all these different things, right? And so, I mean, but here's the thing. The lawsuit is about not so much about the output. It's about what they're using to train their models. So you're using copy. What else they gonna use? Like, trust me, when I play you this song, I'll play you here in just a little bit. I was inspired by another song. Can I not do that?
That was gonna be my point. It was my talking point. My point is, producers do it all the time. Okay, give me, type in J. Cole type beat. Alchemist. It's funny. Alchemist on his Twitter handle is Alchemist type beat. That's his name on Twitter.
Alchemist type beat.
It's funny. So he's like actually like making fun of it, but it's that's always going on. You know what I mean? It's always going on, man. So it's like
how do you think producers train themselves to make beats? Why do you think we A/B test stuff? Like, can engineers no longer use real copywritten music to do an A/B test for their mixes?
But listen, these labels, man, like, I don't want to make no enemies out there, man, but I'm just mad when I try. You can't even do a freaking Instagram video with a song without getting harassed. I can't even do a video. I can't do a video on YouTube reviewing an album that you're selling to help you get more sales without you striking it down.
No, sir.
How counterproductive is that?
No, sir.
I can't even make a video promoting your product, helping you make money because I'm passionate about it.
Is this topic for the next one?
It could be. I'm just saying, but these labels are full of it. So I'm almost tempted to just jump on the other side just because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm getting worked up about it.
Look, we can talk. Look, this could be a topic for the next episode next week because I saw a video of I forgot her name. She's an attorney, but she does a lot of YouTube videos. She has like red hair, or at least one side of her hair is red.
I don't know what you're talking
maybe
about.
Maybe the whole side, all of it is red, but she's an attorney. And was it Spotify? Somebody did a DMCA takedown request on her because she reviewed their terms of service.
That's crazy.
Their terms of service.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was like, I'm just making y'all aware what their terms of service are. And this is free to everybody. And they were like, oh, but you showed this and you did this. And yeah. And then some big dude came out with a gazillion million subscribers, was like, y'all wrong for doing that. He's like, I'm gonna talk about it. I want y'all to come after me. He was like, F around to find out. I was like, oh, I was dying watching this thing. He was like, come after me. I dare you. He was like, I dare you to come after me. He's like, y'all want to go after these small people? And that's true. You can't make a video without a takedown request or a copyright. So
it's like these labels, man.
Anything.
They like, I'm
like, you know what?
You can't even.
But you can. That's the beauty of it, is that you can when you got your own platform. Because see, we got our own platform. We can talk about whatever we want. Can't nobody take down what we got. We got our own platform. That's the beauty of it. But see, because people are so inundated with going to YouTube, because YouTube has such a massive, they're Google, they're the largest search engine, right? When you want to search something, you go to Google or you go to YouTube and you search for it to find a video or to find an article of the case, right? And so if you put up I could do a whole listening session of an entire album. I don't have to cut nothing because I got my own platform, and I can do that. But what I can't do is do that on YouTube.
Yeah.
But since I got my own, I can do that. But that is the issue: is if you do it. I heard Rick Beto. I think his name is Rick Beto. White guy, silver hair, super dope dude. Got like a million something followers on YouTube. All his stuff usually gets taken down because he's reviewing music. Digging the Greats. which
Okay.
I love digging the greats, right?
Yeah.
He always does a review of like hip hop stuff. His stuff is always taken down. So what are these people starting to do? Because they love music and because they got companies like the big three who are trying to take down their music from, stop them from doing reviews and things like that, they're going to Patreon. They're going to their own platform. They're creating their own Patreons and Substacks and all these where they have freedom to talk about all these different things without,
That's
take
dope.
down request.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah.
So is it fair use?
I don't know, man. But because I don't want like musicians to feel like or producers to feel like they're being replaced either. But at the same time, though, you got to embrace it, man.
You got it.
Shout out to Kato on the track, my boy Kato, man. I saw Kato was coming out with his own AI.
I did. I saw that. I got to check it out.
His own AI, where if you're producing, you can just kind of get a virtual Kato to help you make a beat. You know what I'm saying? I think it's dope. So
I think that's dope.
So we got to embrace AI, man. We got to embrace it and try to again, nothing beats the human soul that you add to music. So don't feel threatened. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of find out how you can work with it.
That's the message. How can you use this tool?
Yeah. Don't feel threatened by it, though.
Don't feel threatened. But how can you use it?
And as you can see, these companies ain't backing down. You ain't going to punk them out. They ready for it. So they ain't going nowhere.
And the crazy thing is, they are starting to create their own. That's the thing. See, that's what I think was happening with Suno and Udio. Because the record labels have their own.
But the labels, they're powerful.
Very powerful.
Here's the end game. They just want to cut.
They
want to cut.
They either want to cut.
They want a piece of it.
Either you give them Suno and Udio, either you give them a piece.
Or they start their own.
Right? Or they got their own. And trust me, I think they got their own. I believe they're building their own AI models. And this is the way to get rid of YouTube, right? YouTube, so that they can use theirs. But anyway.
And get rid of the artist,
And get rid of the artist. Why do I want to pay royalties to it? I can keep 100% as the label.
Exactly.
And I can just have an AI person.
Hey, stay tuned. We're going to stay on top of this. Stay tuned. We're going to stay on top of it. We're going to follow this. We'll talk to y'all 3 years from now. Let's see what's happening. Universal Music. Remember they had the AI rapper last year. Was it a label that had them, the AI rapper?
Oh, the AI rapper?
Yeah. He was talking all crazy.
I believe that was a label that had that. So a label put it out.
And now they got their nerve.
Exactly. We're gonna stay in touch with this thing. But man, it's been a great conversation, bro. We talked about a lot of stuff.
For sure, a lot of stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like a lot of stuff to help the independent artists really just navigate this industry.
And join the discussion. If you all agree with us, let us know. We can talk more about it. If you disagree with us, let us know. Let's talk about it. Let's create a healthy. I'm not gonna argue with nobody. I say that right now.
I'm not arguing with nobody.
I ain't go back and forth. But if we have a disagreement and we can discuss it in a civil way to maybe have an open mind, I'm down with it, man.
I'm down with it.
Let's talk about this stuff.
At least come with some. At least do your research first, though,
and be respectful.
But man, once again, it's the Indie Unplugged. Be Vaughan,
Brian Onrea.
Hey, y'all have a good night. Peace.